So, Guy, Jude brought this issue up of the cloud and moving things to the cloud, and then you actually brought up machine learning as a new technology. How have you seen cloud and ML, machine learning generally, as sort of catalysts for change in the data strategy that you have at P&G? Is that something that's helping? Is it something that is it a flash in the pan and it's a good idea, but it'll never stick? Is it something you're leaning into? What's the thinking there?
So yeah, cloud and ML are two important components of our digital foundation. So we have a digital strategy that's focusing on serving consumers and customers, supply chain and product innovation. And the underlying foundation to enable those strategies is really the migration to cloud and then leveraging AI ML to drive insights to help make better decisions and personalized consumer experiences. So we very much look at the cloud as an opportunity to address a lot of the challenges that Jude mentioned, because we, like Fifth Third, even though we're in completely different industries, we have a lot of parallels, that we also have lots of legacy systems and legacy code debt that we're managing through. The cloud gives us an opportunity to not only kind of reset that architecture, but also drives the agility and the elasticity we need to run our business. As you can imagine, in a business like P&G with so many different brands and country category segments, we have different needs at different times. So we need the elasticity of a cloud to serve those needs and be able to move very, very quickly, because our business is a very dynamic business. And so we're finding that the cloud is a key enabler there. From a data perspective, we very much, like many companies, are standing up our data lake. And so that data lake will be the repository where these integrations and harmonizations happen. And then we're curating that data via self-service tools that allow our business users to get a personalized experience on that data so they can make the right decisions. And so we're looking at cloud and ML as a chance for us to leapfrog and a really important set of tools to deliver that constructive disruption I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So from P&G's perspective, it sounds like cloud and ML are strong enabling technologies. They allow you, and I love this idea of leapfrogging. So you take the challenge you have, which is legacy systems and old old infrastructure, and this is your opportunity to completely disrupt and do things in a new and fresh way, but with the advantage of that tremendous asset, Jude, that you mentioned, which is all of this data. Like, to your point, that yes, that's a challenge, but it's also the great benefit that you have as organizations. Maybe just as a quick side note, we at Tamer, we also see this move to the cloud and machine learning as a really important catalyst, because what that does is, as data moves to the cloud, it then also sits next to really highly elastic compute capabilities. And it means that machine learning based approaches, which previously would have been too difficult to run on premise, you can't spin up 1,000 machines on premise if you don't have them. But in the cloud, you can. You could have 1,000 machines, you could have 10,000 machines working on machine learning algorithms. So, Tamer's approach to using machine learning, and Guy, you pointed this out, but to do improve the quality of data and break down those silos and integrate data together, like, you can actually use machine learning to do that, because now the data is sitting in the cloud next to this highly elastic compute infrastructure. But Jude, from your perspective, just to bring it back to you, the cloud and ML, how are you guys thinking about it?
Yeah, probably very similar. I mean, at the end of the day, what we're doing a lot, if you think about early on, I talked about the customer experience and are trying to help customers with we call it their next best decision or our next best discussion. We have a lot of data processing that has to happen, and we want that to happen on the edge, and we want it to happen as close as we can in the cloud to allow us to take advantage of all of the capacity and compute capacity it has, right? We're doing a lot of machine learning. We're running a lot of big data sets just to try to get to that understanding and that experience that we're trying to drive for a customer. And so a lot of what we're going through right now in that journey is, what data sits where, what data stays on-prem, what data goes up in the cloud, how do you create those egress points so the data can move back and forth as it needs to. And there's a lot of in-depth work with our data sciences group and with our enterprise data office around really partnering on those decisions. And then even in that group, it's where we're integrating in our information security and cloud engineering teams. We've got a handful of cross-functional squads that are working on just this exact kind of, I don't want to say problem, but exact opportunity of where does data have to sit to maximize its value, while balancing and harmonizing that with protecting the data as well as protecting our customers. So it's a big push and pull, right? We are engaging a lot of partners. We're working with our own expertise, but it's probably the most challenging proposition we have. For one reason, because a lot of people honestly are just still a little paranoid about putting their data in the cloud. And what I've told, other companies and customers I've talked to, it's like, I'm a bank, I'm not a data center. So if you feel better that it's with me, then maybe we need to rethink the whole value proposition, because, Amazon and Microsoft and other big cloud providers spend billions of dollars on their data centers and on their infrastructure to provide cloud solutions. And we should learn how to be comfortable and take advantage of that and maximize that opportunity versus trying to think it's a on-prem versus off-prem discussion, because I think there's harmonization that what we do great, we can do great. What they do great, they can do great. And if we can find that right balance, we can create a lot of advantage for us, I think, relative to even our customers.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you're the one who started the conversation around this question of privacy and data security as being really core to the bank. And to see you leaning in on these cloud technologies, I think it's hopefully very useful to listeners to think about that. I'm curious, just if you wouldn't mind, are there any specific examples of data projects, or maybe even data projects you're particularly proud of that really leveraged some of these newer technologies that you think people would find interesting? If you wouldn't mind sharing them, and maybe we'll just start with you, Jude, since you were sharing before around data and privacy.
And I've kind of mentioned this one, but I think I'll go into a little more detail than describe it. So we call it next best discussion. It's really one of the core tenets of our future, which if you think about, and I'll just kind of go into like the whole banking analogy. It's not an analogy, but the true story of, we have bankers, we have relationship managers, right? Their job is to really have a portfolio of customers that they support. And across different aspects of our customer base, we kind of divide up that way by either location or by just kind of types of products and accounts. In a traditional way, they come in every day and they just have a call list of customers, and they're just pick up the phone calling, hey, how you doing? Checking in. How's the last mortgage you got? Blah, blah, blah. What are you thinking about? And they're just trying to use conversation and really not a lot of information to help that customer to really understand, is there something we can be doing more to help them in some way, or the new products that we have, new things that we think might be ideal for them, which honestly what that is a lot of cold call marketing. And the same thing can be said of the way we've done traditional marketing. We blast out mailers, we, do stuff on the website. Over the last 2 years, our data sciences group and our enterprise data team have worked together to do a lot of what we've been talking about, harnessing data, so that now that relationship manager comes in every morning, and instead of seeing this laundry list of names and phone numbers, he actually has a dashboard of best opportunities from what the machine learning algorithms and what we've been able to do from some of our data models to say, hey, here's 10 customers we think you should call today. And here's why, and here are the things individually that each one of them we think are probably most beneficial for you to call them and talk about. And again, that could be a customer that, maybe we've noticed in a time like this pandemic that maybe their auto deposit payroll hasn't been happening. So maybe we can call an offer hardship relief. Maybe we can say, hey, their money hasn't been going in like we thought. It's time to reach out. It's time to offer some help for them, because maybe they're going through a challenge, and we've got a lot of things we can do to take a lot of burden off of them from a financial standpoint. Or we've noticed that, this customer's, spending more money at Home Depot or Lowe's or somewhere, and potentially that's an opportunity. Maybe they're looking for a home line of credit, or maybe they're looking for projects they're doing that we can offer some solutions. We're trying to even bundle things we do with other services like Zillow and other places where you can pair insurance and pair different other kind of comparable products with things that we do as a bank, that we can use that information and just make that interaction with our customers a lot more valuable. And the goal of that really is to ultimately drive the personal experiences that customers expect from a bank that I think they're coming to expect from everywhere. We've talked about disruption, and you guys talk about personalizing the experiences for your customers, but we try to think about it. It's not really, Fifth Third trying to be more personalized than U.S. Bank or Bank of America. What we're trying to think about is our customers' expectation on their experiences was their last experience, which often is Amazon, buying something there, or it's buying something online somewhere, or some interaction. We think that it's that experience that we're trying to move forward and help be a part of. It's not a competitive thing. It's not and that it's customers come to expect these experiences, and they should expect it from their bank. And so that's what we want. We don't want to waste a call for you. We don't want to waste your time by calling on something you have no interest in. So that's one that we're doing this now. We've got a handful of our relationship managers that are already using these models and using tools. And we're seeing a ton of, I think, customer value from those. And we're just going to keep growing and growing those capabilities over time. And that's probably the one I'd say we're most proud of these days.
I love that. So it's this idea of using data to create a better customer experience, not to save money or do which it may have that effect as well. But it really has, and I love this idea that the interaction you would have in your case over the phone with a banking advisor isn't seen as an annoyance, but is seen as like a wonderful experience that helps me. And if it's a really personalized experience, one that speaks to the need that I have in the moment, all the better. Like what a great moment.